new dawn, a new day. Now, to get control of this barge before sundown.
Ah, there. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Oh dear. I'm afraid you're a long way from home, my lord. A long way from the little bells that make footmen come around.
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to give...
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too... Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one?
Currents of magic...
My, there you have it, see? The collar's function. It... For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you... Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a... Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. She'll be fine. Now...
Or was he already here? Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow. We'll find out who did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Not with that collar on, you aren't. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometime bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. Who's your real enemy? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did...
Sing us a song, I know you can.
Be good, you scallywags.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
The young woman seems about to raise her hand, but quickly remembers herself and nods point...
Who indeed? Why, my name is, Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeve.
The children break out into...
I say, it...
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and get, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right.
No.
You sure about that?
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear.
Good luck, Chief.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old...
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice, deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She chuckles once more.
That red-cheeked refusal tells me more than licking you would. But suit yourself.
That has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with point...
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He's
away with you!
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's...
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would have. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't... There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime murder. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnip. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic. A bag is as... On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of... Yes, if you sprout hair as copiously on other regions of your physique I don't doubt you're well versed. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle and the fashion sense of a... That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. You'll never attain the rank of slave with manners such still. Hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He sits back and returns to his book. The elf reaches toward...
Oh, you have... Perhaps I should demand this...
Got this wolf on a leash now.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. You faring okay so far? I'm glad to hear. You head on in now.
Keep those bolts trained on her.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! Come on, you there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened? Long before this thing snaps into splinters. Something's pounding on the hull. Damn it. Need to get off this wreck and quick. That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious.
Walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a Wait, Voidwoken!
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
I'm ready.
They who are about to triumph salute.
They smell even worse than dead. Let's head above decks for some air.
I hear something. It's...
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.